Today, I wanted to talk to you about picks and ask you what was the most amount of money that you've ever spent on a pick. This pick here is £30 from D'Addario. I am actually working with D'Addario to make you this video, if you could believe that. But yes, D'Addario approached me a little while back and just said, like, would you be up for doing some videos? And since I already use their strings and I already use their picks, the ones that don't cost 30 quid, I was like, yes. So we came up with some topics. And I've kind of looked through their products and kind of picked out some things that I think would be interesting to kind of talk about. This channel is supported by TrueFire. TrueFire is an online library of lessons from some of my favourite players. There's thousands of lessons on there. You can use the promo code JNC40 to get 40% off of any of their courses. So this is the standard 351 Casein pick, and Casein, if you didn't know, is a byproduct, I think, of milk, and you know, like when they're using milk to make cheese and stuff. Products. So it says Casein on the back, it says D'Addario on it. This is a 2mm pick, so £30. I used to use Casein picks, so this is one reason that I no longer use Casein picks. So I have 8 dogs, and Fenton in particular likes to chew stuff like socks, and he one day, this is a 3mm Casein pick that would have cost about 30 quid as well. He decided that he'd start to chew that one, so you see this one actually has, you know, like a grip hole in it now. So that's one reason. Another reason was that I went to a local petrol station, Sainsbury's in Pinho, shout out if you're a local. And I was filling up, and I don't know if you ever had this thing where you pull like your wallet out of your pocket and things fly all over the place. So oftentimes for me it'll be a pick that flies into the road or whatever. And they have these drains around petrol stations to obviously drain stuff into. And this £30 pick falls right in there. And it was actually the first one that I got off of this company. And I was like, right. So I kind of was fishing around, seeing if I could get it out, but it's like a little bit of a drop, and yeah, I was like, all right, I'm going to try and get this. I spoke to the staff, and they were like, yeah, good luck with that. And then I kind of found this massive tweezer online. It's around somewhere, currently lost. Anyway, and I went back after the petrol station was closed, and the lights were off, and I kind of got out of my car with this tweezer that's about this long for putting food into a vivarium or something like that. And then the staff walked out towards me, and it obviously looks like I'm holding a knife. So I was like, oh, it's all right, I'm not going to stab anyone, this is just tweezers. Then went in, and I managed to get the pick out. But after that, it kind of then started to seem a little bit silly to me that I was spending this amount of money on picks. And I think soon after that, I started to try D'Addario Black Ice. The argument for me is really that picks I'm losing all the time, particularly when you're gigging and you're traveling around. You've got loads of other things to think about. So like I carry PA and everything like that to my gigs, and cables and pedals, all your other bits and pieces. The picks can kind of get forgotten, and they're in your pockets. Some of my pockets, like, they tend to fall out of a bit, and just having a load of money tied up into a pick, I felt for me was not the best idea. So I'm interested to see, going back to a Casein pick and seeing if there is anything here. It does feel kind of different. I think they possibly wear slightly less than a normal pick, but I can't say for sure. You'll hopefully be able to tell there's a slight difference in the attack. So I'm going to just show you some DI tone. So here's my normal D'Addario Black Ice pick. And actually the Black Ice I picked for its more mellow tone. Try and get that a bit more consistent. You can hear that Black Ice is really quite substantially quieter even than the Casein pick. If I got a sort of normal pick here, so this is normal plastic, quite a bright attack, duller, and then the Black Ice quite similar to the Casein. So that was what I found, is that actually the Black Ice was getting me some of the benefits of the Casein, namely like less of that kind of chirpy bright attack. And I don't know whether that actually comes across. I can hear it in person. Casein, Black Ice, normal. Like the pick attack is the thing that I think was what I was liking the Casein for. Like a bit more of a softer, less bright sound. But it is actually a little bit, I think, of an underrated part of tone generation, because this is, you know, the thing that your right hand is interfacing with most often. So maybe there is an argument that you should be out there spending 30 quid on a pick. These actually have some bevels kind of in them as well. I'll give you some close-ups, but like for sure the normal plastic, slightly thinner pick has a way brighter tone. Unless you angle it. And then the Casein. And the Black Ice are quite similar. And then the normal plastic quite bright again. So I'd love to know from some of you guys what your decision making around what picks you use is. As I say, this is a £30 pick from D'Addario, but I thought it was kind of like a nice starting point for talking about picks in general, because it just reminded me that at one time I was using these very expensive picks, and these days the Black Ice 1.5mm kind of got a lot of things that I like about it. It's kind of got the touch that I really like, the feel of it. It's got this kind of powder on it when you first get it out, but it's also, yeah, it's kind of a really nice soft grip. That softer attack that I prefer to some of the kind of more traditional picks, as well as like the smaller shape and stuff like that as well. You one of these kind of guys that are out there using, is it Red Bear that make Casein picks? Hawk in the UK make Casein picks, and I think there's another brand that do posh picks as well. I can't remember the name, but there's definitely a bunch of picks that D'Addario make that it might be interesting to do a video on at some point in the future. So I've asked them to send me a bunch of those. So I'm going to do some more stuff with some picks. But yeah, I think we need to think about picks a little bit more. Maybe, or maybe we don't at all. But just some ideas there around. I think I've got another pick in here. So I've got here another wide 346. So that's another Casein pick. Here is a felt pick. I'm going to get that out and show you that. And then there's like this D'Addario mixed pack, so you could find your ideal pack from that. And then there's this other Nitra. So let's just try these felt picks as like an example of extreme. I think these are designed for mandolin. So I think the felt ones are not, you know, crazy expensive, but they are specialists. So here's a felt pick for ukulele. It says ukulele on it. That's the clue, right? So we'll go with our normal pick. Not what I was expecting from the felt pick. Actually grips a bit more, so it doesn't float off. It's actually got a really interesting. Maybe it's because I'm doing that side picking kind of angle. Casein. Normal. Felt. Bit more pianistic, bit more like, you know, you hit a piano string with a felt hammer. Could be really interesting to try that. So yeah, D'Addario make a huge range of picks. I just wanted to kind of try a few of them, and that's the ukulele pick there is really interesting. The £30 Casein pick, which is very different and very expensive, 2mm. And I think a really solid pick, kind of all round, the Black Ice 1.5mm is what I tend to use. So thanks for stopping by. Please leave your kind of pick tips in the comments. Any picks that you like, any picks that you think you prefer to these. Have you ever tried a felt pick? Maybe with an acoustic guitar that could be a really interesting thing as well, or even nylon. And do you use different picks with different guitars? So for me, with an acoustic guitar, I would tend to go for a lighter pick in general, because it kind of gets out of the way when strumming a bit more. Love to know your thoughts. Cheers for stopping by.